Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Prairie State Patriots YouTube channel. Today I just wanted to take a look at a knife that I just got in the mail. It is from Fox Knives, which if you're not familiar with Fox Knives, they are an Italian-made knife. If you are a fan of Doug Marcaida, if you follow him, you've probably heard of them. He was a big proponent of the 599 Karambit that they offered. Well, this is the 479 Karambit. It's the same design, just larger. I did go ahead and cut the sticker on this just so it was a little bit easier to open up. But let's take a look inside and see what all this came with. So we've got this double-sided Torx wrench that looks like probably a T6. I know that's pretty common in a lot of knives now. Nice little canvas storage bag there. It's got the Fox Knives logo on it. The knife is inside that. We'll get to that in just a second. This looks like warranty information. Yeah, nothing too spectacular there. And this is most likely maintenance, maybe. It's just a thank you note, and then it has their socials and some hashtags. So we'll set all that stuff off to the side. And it's got this nice piece of foam in the bottom to help protect your knife during shipping. So, let's get down to this. I'm super excited about this, guys. I have had the dart knife from Fox Knives for like 9 years, and I've wanted the Karambit for a long time. I don't know why I never bought one, but I just finally decided to. And there she is. So if you're not familiar with these, you're probably wondering what the hell that's for. Well, that is the wave feature made popular, I believe, by Emerson Knives. And what this does, and I'll try to get a shot of this at the end of the video, this is carried tip up in the pocket. You guys can see how the pocket clip is oriented. So when you grab this ring to draw it, this will actually catch on your pocket and deploy the blade. This is the same feature that the dart knife uses, and it works quite well. It does take a little bit of practice, just because sometimes if you turn the knife inward toward your body whenever you draw it, it may not deploy. Not a huge deal. You can still deploy it easily by catching it on literally anything else. This has textured G10 handles. I've got the specs written down off to the side. I pulled these directly off of the Blade HQ website, which is where I got this from. So we're going to go over that real quick. This does have an overall length of 8.5 inches. The blade length is 3.1 inches, with 3 inches of that being cutting edge. You guys can see that's got a nice uniform edge to it. This thing is very, very sharp. It's got a very nice tip to it. Blade thickness is about 12 thousandths of an inch. This is a flat grind. Pretty nice hawkbill style. The steel is Bowler N690. So if you're not familiar with that, Bowler N690 is actually typically what Microtech uses in their knives. That being said, I cannot confirm nor deny what the heat treat on these would be like compared to, like, say, a Microtech. It's just the same material, and I know the heat treat process plays a big factor in how well that material will perform. Just an interesting fact to throw out there. This is a liner lock. It's got a steel liner lock. And this is really nice. You guys can see, actually you can see down in there, this has PB washers. But that's a solid, I'd say 30% lockup on that liner lock. Because when I was looking at these, I really wanted to find a frame lock that had all the same features this does. Just, I wanted a frame lock, couldn't find any. Ended up going with one of these instead, but seeing that's kind of reassuring. I'm really happy about that. And the dart knife, you know, it's the same way. Like I said, I've had that for 9 years. I've not had any issues with that lock failing. These also, at least for my purposes, are not going to be hard use knives, but that's a topic for another video. It does have this oversized ring here, and you guys can see that is rounded on the inside. That actually feels really nice on the finger. There's no sharp edges anywhere on this. So if you do flail and spin it around and try to look fancy with one of these, you're not going to make your finger raw or blister it up any. This does have a flipper tab on the back. I know, yeah, I'd read that this was kind of disappointing. Yeah, it doesn't function too well as a flipper tab. If you give it a little flick of the wrist, it'll work. But just pushing it as a normal flipper, it doesn't want to come out. So that's not a deal breaker for me. I don't plan on using this in a forward position. I don't plan on using it at all, if you catch my drift. I will carry it. I don't plan on using it. But it's got this nice cutout in the back here that feels really comfortable on my thumb if I was going to actually use this for like utilitarian purposes. It has some nice jimping on the back of the blade right here. Has a nice aggressive texture, but not anything that I feel like would tear up my thumb if I had to use it for a prolonged period of time. It's got the Fox Knives logo here on the blade. On the other side, I'm not a huge fan of this. I did think that looks a little gaudy. Once again, not a deal breaker for me though. Who gives a shit, honestly? I like the quality. I prefer looking at the quality of a knife and how it's going to perform in its most basic functions as to how it looks aesthetically. I'm just not one of those guys. You can see the N690 stainless there on the blade. If I didn't mention it already, these handles are about 5.5 inches long and about 1/2 inch thick. This does have a stainless steel pocket clip with 3 screws in it. These are actually very secure, and this one doesn't seem like it would be too bad, but I know when my dart knife that I got, whenever I actually bought that knife, the clip was so tight and the G10 was so aggressive that I couldn't hardly get it to clip to my pocket. Like, it was a chore getting it on my pocket, and I had to take a screwdriver and stick in there and actually like pry on it a little bit to loosen the clip up. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I mean, this is nice and tight, but it doesn't seem overly tight. But I mean, that action is actually really smooth. I'm excited to try this out and see how it deploys out of the pocket. Like I said, I'm going to try and get a shot of this at the end of the video for you guys to check out. This is currently selling for, I believe I paid $155 for this before taxes and shipping on Blade HQ. Oh, I guess you guys probably want to see the blade centering. Let's look at that. That actually looks perfect. I had read some horror stories. I'd seen some videos where people were complaining about QC issues with these knives. But man, that looks pretty legit. I'm so far pretty happy with the purchase that I made. These liners don't stick out at all. This all feels nice on the back here, nice and finished. Like I said, this is really smooth. Blade seems to deploy pretty easy. See how sharp it is out of the box. You guys will see I already got a little bald patch there. This is what I do with all my knives. Well, she'll take hair. So I'd say that's a pass. I mean, you can't beat that, man. Yeah, that'll definitely pierce something. But yeah, I'm excited to try this out and practice with it. I did buy the trainer with this as well. I used to practice Filipino martial arts years ago. I want to get back into it. I wasn't any good at it. I just want to throw that out there. But I want to get back into it just as a hobby, something that I would enjoy doing. And I've always been a fan of these knives for that reason. I have a fixed blade Karambit just for daily carrying purposes. I wanted a folding Karambit because I cannot carry a fixed blade where I'm at. And I honestly don't feel like I need to carry a fixed blade for self-defense purposes. But anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on these knives, though. If you have any personal experience with them, or maybe if you're planning on getting one soon, hopefully this video could have some sort of an influence on that decision. But yeah, I'm going to cut the camera off and set it up and try to get a shot of this deploying from the pocket. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.